name is Reneba Saboni, and here standing with me are and we are here to showcase our business plan, which is the 9 residency.
I'll be taking you on our executive summary. The 9 Residence is a student accommodation venture that takes shipping containers and turns them into modern affordable domes. It targets Botswana Accountancy College and University of Botswana students. Its main goal is to provide good quality and affordable accommodation to university students. It consists of highly qualified workforce for a good customer service and high standards of care. It uses latest technology such as Wi-Fi to maximize learning. Shipping containers are easier to build than modern buildings. Hence, there's provision of housing in a quicker span of time. We plan to partner with universities to provide housing directly to students.
The 9 Residency Company is a private limited company that has set out to provide affordable student accommodation. It will be located in Tlokeng, Mekhabeng Ward. This location is ideal as it is a one-way trip to and from University of Botswana and Botswana Accountancy College, thus making transportation for university students cheaper. This location is also safe and secure, which will provide students a sense of security as they will be living in our accommodations. As 9 Residency Company, our vision is to be recognized as the best and most affordable student accommodation providers nationwide. To achieve this, we will hire professionally skilled and experienced workers who will thus improve quality customer service, as well as maximizing our advertising to be able to attract more investors, as well as increase our market share. The 9 Residency Company is solving the need for conducive and affordable student accommodation. Each year, the government enrolls large numbers of university students, which also increases the need for conducive student accommodation. This is where we, as the 9 Residency Company, fill in that gap to be able to ensure that each student, specifically those coming from rural areas, are able to find a means of accommodation which does not hurt their pocket. We will also be partnering up with major companies such as Builders World, as well as seeking out investors in order for our startup to be more manageable and thus a realistic goal. I'll be passing on to my next colleague who will take you through our following part of our business plan.
I'll be taking you through the service plan. The 9 Residency looks to assist universities in providing accommodation to their students. Good communication will be implemented between the universities and the company. When it comes to marketing, social media will be used, this including posting pictures as well as a website showcasing the available rooms. For better understanding and awareness of competitors, an evaluation of the real estate market will be carried out. Everything will be documented to make sure there is a maximum accuracy and efficiency when running the business. To track the progress of the business and avoid misinformation, a bookkeeping system will be developed to store the company's information. Inquiries made by students will be handled by the human resource employer. The target market is students from universities of Botswana and Botswana Accountancy College from rural areas in need of accommodation near the universities.
I am now going to take you through the industry plan, which basically shows us the key trends that are in the real estate industry. The reports have shown that there has been rapid increase in the student enrollment. For example, in UB, in 2019-2020, there had been 13,000 students, a little over 13,000 students, but now in 2023-2024, there are over 20,000 students. This shows an increase of over 5,000 students. This means that there will be an increase in demand for student housing while the supply is strained. This is where the 9 residency comes in, where we will fill in this gap by providing the container homes. There has also been an increase in investments from investors and funding from the government. This is because the government has prioritized student accommodation, hence increasing our chances at getting funding. However, the policies that have been put in place have shifted towards alternative financing and equity acquisition. This means that it may make it a bit challenging for us to expand our business.
As you already know, our services are accommodation and laundryment. And just like any other firm, we need a marketing plan. We are going to be marketing to both universities and university students. How we market to universities? We are going to formally pitch proposals to universities, showing them why using our container homes is best for that university. And to the students, we are going to partner with social media content creators to market our accommodation, as well as using QR codes that will lead the students directly to our website, informing them more about our accommodation.
I'll now be taking you through the organizational plan, and in our first position we have the Chief Executive Officer, and he will be Atang. Atang will be responsible for defining the company's vision and strategic approaches and long-term goals. He will be paid 10,000 pula. In our next position we have the Managing Director, and that will be Renewing. She will be responsible for overseeing the 9 residencies' daily corporate activities and guide the implementation of the company's strategies. She will also be leading and managing executive team across various functions. She will be paid 8,000 pula monthly. In our next position, we have the operating manager, and that will be Jerome. He will oversee day-to-day operations, logistics, and quality assurance of services. This will ensure the company's day-to-day operations are properly executed. He will be paid 7,000 pula monthly. The next position, we have the finance manager, and that will be Susupo. She will manage financial planning, budgeting, and accounting on the cash flow management. She will analyze what can be done for possible opportunities for growth and profitability. She will be paid 7.5 monthly. In our next position, we have marketing and sales manager, and it will be Bianca. She will handle brand development, advertising, and customer acquisition.
3, 2, 1.
Our next position will be the marketing and sales manager, and that will be Bianca. She will handle the brand development, advertising, and company acquisition and sales strategies. She will be paid 5,500 monthly. In the next position, we have the resources manager, and that will be Botu. She will manage recruitment, staff training, welfare, and organizational culture. She will also be paid 5,500 monthly. In the last position, we have customer relations manager, and that will be Taone. She will ensure customer satisfaction, manage feedback from customers, and build long-term client loyalty. She will be paid 6,000 monthly.
I'll be talking about the operational plan of our business. These are the essential activities that we need for the smooth running of our venture. Firstly, we have tenant management. We'll be handling applications, and also there will be orientation of new tenants. Secondly, we'll have maintenance and housekeeping. We'll be having regular inspections by checking if students are cleaning their dorms. There will also be proper waste management. Thirdly, we have security and safety. We'll be issuing key card access to the dorm so that there is safety in the accommodation. Also be security cameras. Under safety, there will be fire exits and emergency protocols in case of fire. Lastly, under our operational plan, we have paying and billing process. So we'll be collecting rent on the 28th of every month, and the deadline being the 30th of that month. We'll be having digital and accumulated billings and reminders for payments. There is also utility billing and allocation of shared utility costs. Now I'll be handing over to my colleague who will be doing the assessment of risk.
Now I will be taking you through the assessment of risks using the bow tie diagram. So our hazard is electrical fault, and the top event is a fire outbreak due to electrical fault. So we have the threats. The first threat is the overload of electrical appliances and sockets. Number 2, use of illegal heaters which can explode and cause fire. And number 3, poor maintenance of wiring and appliances. So, because we have our threats, we'll move to the consequences of our threats. The consequences is loss of life of the students due to this fire outbreak in the student accommodation, damage to housing and furniture which will get caught up in the fire, and also business shutdown due to burnt accommodation, rooms and beds burning down. Then we have preventative barriers. These are the things that we will do to ensure that our threats don't happen. Number one, regular maintenance of wiring and appliances, making sure that everything is okay, and also conducting electrical inspections regularly. Mitigating barriers. These are things that we can do to ensure that the fire is controlled. The first one is having fire detectors and alarms. This will help to alert us when there's a fire outbreak. Then we have fire extinguishers. This will help to switch off the fire before the firemen arrive. And also property insurance, which will help to ensure that if there is a fire outbreak and our things are damaged, they will be able to reimburse us and will be able to open up a new business.
Taking you through the PESTEL analysis. We have 6 factors being political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. Under our political factors, we are going to be talking about government policies and funding. The positive is that when the government invests in higher education, more children are being enrolled in universities. This increases the demand for housing. This will then create a steady demand for housing, then generating an income for our 9 residency company. The negative part is that if funding is reduced or policies are changed, it lowers down the number of students being enrolled in universities. This will then lead to lower demand for our student accommodation. We'll be moving on to the economic factors. This one, the market is shaped by the balance between student growth and available housing supply. The positive is that more students will be enrolled, but there will be limited housing available. This will then create big opportunities and investors in the private housing accommodation. Forecasts suggest that strong demand and steady rental income will lead to a higher demand for housing by students. The negative part is that the rising cost of living, inflation, and higher construction costs may lower down student demand and also make housing unaffordable for students, therefore reducing the number of investors in the private student sector. Then we'll go through the social factors. Cultural and social factors affect how students choose accommodation. The positive is that shortage of good quality housing combined with the growing number of students and urban migration will keep the demand for student accommodation high. The negative part is that not all students will be able to afford private housing, leading to them opting for cheaper shared spaces, limiting the appeal for pricier options, reducing the competition of companies that deal with housing. Technological factors. Students expect modern housing to have reliable technological features. The positive is that amenities like 24/7 Wi-Fi, online booking, and digital payments give developers a competitive edge in the private housing sector. And the negative part is that high setup and maintenance costs may disadvantage smaller developing companies, creating a gap between premium and budget housing. Environmental factors. Sustainable and resource challenges affect housing accommodation. Positive is that eco-friendly buildings and energy-efficient systems lower down long-term costs and appeal to environmentally aware students and investors about things that can harm the environment, which link with the private accommodation. Negative is that Botswana faces water and energy supply issues, and meeting green standards can raise upfront building costs. Lastly, legal factors. Laws and regulations shape construction and tenancy practices. The positive is that clear legal framework for construction, tenancy, and safety boosts investor confidence in the private sector for offering student accommodation.
The negative part is that long approval processes, strict land use laws, and compliance requirements can delay projects and raise costs, especially for smaller developers which may want to set up businesses in the private sector under student accommodation.
And here I'll be taking you through the financial plan. To my right, we have the income statement, and to my left, we have the statement of financial position. As you can see here, we have our rental income per annum as 1,185,600 pula. We have other incomes as well, and that gives us a gross profit totaled at 1,245,600 pula. We also have our list of operating expenses and non-operating expenses, which give us a total of 257,600 pula before our income tax. When we add our income tax to this, we get a total of 200,928 pula. And now we go to the statement of financial position. Here we have a list of non-current assets. We have land, which is 950,000 pula, and then we have all those other non-current assets, which gives us a total of 5,190,000 pula. And then we have our current assets. The cash at bank here is 200,928 pula from our income statement, and it gives, with the other current assets, we have a total of 320,928, which gives us the total of assets as 5,510,928 pula. And now we have our liabilities. We have our list of liabilities, our current liabilities and non-current liabilities, which give us a total of 2,110,000 pula. And our equity, we have our owner's capital as 3,200,000 pula, and our retained earnings as 3,400,928 pula, giving us a total liability and equity as 5,510,928 pula. And for our last financial plan, we have our cash budget. Here we have a 3-month cash budget, and we took the rental here as a 70% rate. Here it's at an 80% rate, and the last one is at 100% rate. For our first month, we have a net cash flow of 20,660. For month 2, we have 38,540 pula, and for our third month, we have our net cash flow as 48,300 pula, giving us our closing balance for the first month as 20,660, for our second month 59,200, and for our third month as 107,500 pula. This simply shows us that our business is great.